Hello, my name is Cheryl Wilson and I am abstract artist, and again thank you for coming back to my channel. If you're new, I do abstract paintings and I show the paintings and techniques and several other things. This painting is a 36 by 48 and I call it Meditative Philosophy. It is a very large painting and it has a lot of paint in it. And I wanted just to show you a very simple way to create an abstract art piece with either pieces of cardboard, some tools that you may have, or as I absolutely love to create with my fingers. So basically this is a finger painting. So I wanted to go through the types of paints. It's not necessarily the color, you pick your own colors basically, but the types of paint as opposed to the thin paints and tube paints and thicker paints and different types of paints. This is actually done with a lot of tube paints as opposed to the high flows and the fluid goldens that I use most of the time. So let's get right into this painting. I think you'll find it a lot of fun, and I think you'll find it a very easy way to create a beautiful abstract painting for yourself, or even if you are selling abstracts, these are very popular. And if you would just take a moment and subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up if you keep wanting me to do these videos, and you see that little bell. If you ring that little bell, if you click that bell, it will notify you when I put new videos out. So again, let's just get started. So here are the paints, the tube paints I was talking about. And then I wanted to show you the array of colors that you can grab. There's some tools you can use. There's some spatulas. They're hard on the end. Those are called shapers. Spatulas from your kitchen. There's a tiny one. You can even use cardboard if you want. Anything that will scrape through the paint. So I wanted just to show you this, and then now let's have the fun. So you can choose any color, and the reason why I'm using tube paints as opposed to the high flows and the regular paints I use from Golden is because I want them thicker. I don't want them to soak into the canvas as much on these. I want them to have some texture and some peaks and just you know, the movement of the paint there's going to be a lot more. So I'm choosing just some yellows, some magentas, some there's like a white, and that white is actually a very thick white. You'll see me later go to a high flow to bring it in, but I am just using, there's like an Indian yellow. I am just using whatever colors I just feel like I want to put on the canvas. And I'm going to start with the tools. And you'll find that I'm much more comfortable with my fingers. But I did want to start with the tools. And so you can play with different tools. Decide which ones you're the most comfortable with. I found that I had to wipe off the that's called a catalyst. The paints, they blended a lot more than I wanted them to with the catalyst. I didn't have as much control as I did with my fingers, but you can certainly use the catalyst. And the point is just to move the paint around the canvas. And you'll probably see my head in there a lot because this is a very large canvas. There I'm using just a piece of cardboard. You can keep the paint on the cardboard, or you can wipe it off, or you can go to different pieces. It all just depends on what the desire you want is. If you want the colors not to mix as much, you're going to have to use a piece of cardboard for each color. As you see at the bottom there, I don't mind when things mix, but the purple and yellow, they were complementary colors, so of course they're going to turn into like a mud. But you'll see as I go through this painting, I get a little different flow, and that's just what you're going to find. I did not put gesso on this canvas. This canvas is straight. It came from Michael's, and they do put a couple coats of gesso on there, but I did not put additional, so you can hear when that cardboard hits the canvas, you can hear it scraping. So at some point I am moving to my fingers, and I love using my fingers. I feel I have more control over, but that's just a preference I have. So you can choose to move the paint around the canvas as they mix. You can choose to have more of a individual color where they don't mix as much. I like the mixture on the canvas. There I'm just taking very light strokes with my fingers so that that magenta slides over the top. But you see, as I migrate through the canvas, I kind of change my flow of how I'm using my fingers, and that's perfectly okay. It's not something that you have to stay consistent unless that's what you want throughout the painting. The colors were kind of dull there, so I guess that's probably in my thought. I added a little bit of that bright yellow on the top. That is some of the darker colors. I felt, okay, I'm going to now bring in some darks. So I'm just going to let you watch me. I'm going to put this on like a little bit fast, and you can tell as the paint comes out of the tube, some are thicker, some are thinner, and that's exactly what you want. You want a little bit of a different consistency. So I'm just going to let you watch as I play in the paint, and I will pop in if there's something that I want to say that I haven't already said.
look at you like that, you lose it completely. Losing track of space and time. I don't wanna go home looking for a reason to stay here all night. I wonder, do you feel it too? Magic between me and you, the way that you make me feel. You wonder if I feel the same. The blood's rushing through your veins, and then when I say your name, bet I'm everything you see. Bet I'm everything you need. We're high on this feeling, don't wanna come down. Just go on and tell me, get into my eyes. I'm everything you need, need. You need. I'm everything you need. You usually don't share any secrets. Suddenly you're an open book. When I struggle to find the words, you get me completely. It's like I've known you forever, so I wonder, do you feel it too? Magic between me and you, the way that you make me feel. You wonder if I feel the same. The blood's rushing through your veins, and then when I say your name, bet I'm everything you see. Bet I'm everything you need. We're high on this feeling, don't wanna come down. Just go on and tell me, get into my eyes. I'm everything you need. You need. I'm everything you need. I'm everything you need. You need. I'm everything you need. I'm everything you need. You need. I'm everything you need. Bet I'm everything you see. Bet I'm everything you need. We're high on this feeling, don't wanna come down. Just go on and tell me, get into my eyes. I'm everything you see. Bet I'm everything you need. We're high on this feeling, don't wanna come
So about now I'm looking at the painting and I'm looking to see, do I need to have more bright? So it's all still very wet and it will stay wet for a while because it is a thick painting, but I'm looking at some dark areas, adding in some light, adding in some, the bright yellow tends to kind of just make it a fun painting. So I'm just looking at areas that I think need a pop of color. You can do so much with this painting, so much more than even the colors that I'm choosing. You can choose to go with all cool colors and then add a pop of the warm at the top. You can go with all warm and then add a pop of the cool. You can just have all one, 4 or 5 colors. Just because I chose to have many multiple colors, it's really up to you. Now what I'm doing now is I'm adding in some titanium white high flow. I wanted to bring up another layer of pop to lighten up some of the areas where I had some of the muted colors. I love the colors that I chose. I did add some more pop in those particular areas on purpose. And then you'll see me in the end, I wish I could have gotten the whole canvas on the camera, but it's very large, and I wanted to have this angle to show you what I was doing with my fingers. But you'll see me also add some really fun pops of fluorescent pink, and I think that just really kind of just brought the painting all together. So there's those pops of the fluorescent pink. And this will dry at the very beginning, and I'll do a shot at the end a little bit darker. But I hope you enjoyed this process, and I hope you can see the many things that you can do with a painting like this, using your tools, your fingers, whatever you want to use to mix the paints together on the canvas to have a really fun painting. And the thing that you look at is it is chaotic, but look to have some lights and darks, whether you're using the same colors, the cools or whatever, have lights and darks so your eye has places to go, and then add some pops of color in the end. And I think you'll find that you'll really enjoy this style of painting.